Maybe if you go down like this. Yeah. Oops.
Good. So, at the end of the day, everything we talked about is actual and factual when it comes from me, like from what I'm basically feeling in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I was telling you, like, not to just take everybody's word for it or what they're saying. Not saying like to take my word for everything, because you're going to have your own walk, your own intersection with consciousness. And what that does is it just clears the space for you to automatically do everything that resonates from your heart, that makes sense to you, and the synchronicity, that love language from God, that is going to be...
Talk about synchronicities.
So the synchronicities is just basically how you kind of just see things happen in your day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I seen this on TV, and I'm seeing the same thing again down the line at the gym with the kids. Like, so what is this trying to, like, what is there a message? Yeah, what is there a message, or is it gonna show me something that I need to understand?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this thing with the cards. This is why I created the cards, because when it comes to the tarot, you have your different spreads.
Yes.
So you have your kind of like your horoscope, I call it. So that one card for the day.
Yeah.
So that one card for the day, and then that's going to be the reoccurring theme of what's going to be happening through your day. You're going to be like, okay, the synchronicity of this type of energy is what I pulled today.
Yes.
So that's basically when it comes to the spreads, that one card a day, I call that my horoscope. And then you have the 3-card spread. And then a 3-card spread is always past, present, and future.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that you can manipulate the future. You can actually change the future. If you don't want something that this card says is going to happen, you change it. You put in the energy and the movement and the action to make sure that shit don't happen.
Okay.
And that's another benefit about being in tune and honing this skill and understanding your intersection of consciousness and your intellectual property, your knowledge of just understanding that there's so much to life.
Right.
And there's so many gifts and talents that we personally have that, we just are built with such spiritual talents that we personally have to understand, and we have multiples. It's not like you just have one.
Yeah.
You have so many. So I would love to keep this card, because this to me is a card of favor. This is a rewarding card. It says, God sees you, you put in the work, and now it's time to get paid. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's, you feel me? So that's the future off top. Now, this is a card of compliance, like us actually building together. Us being in a position to put the work in and say, okay, like I said, higher purpose. Right. What's your purpose? God's will. God's will comes first. Whatever that will is, let it be done. And when it is to the point where you know who you are, you're already on purpose. Right. So now you look at yourself like, this is the reoccurring theme of my life. Since I was this age, this is my talents. This is what I'm good at. Right. This is what people recognize me for. And guess what? That's going to be a part of why you're here. God is going to use those potentials, and you work together to get to the next level of His will. And ultimately, I think we're here to better the legacy of our existence.
With that.
So right now, I don't think we're in a good spot.
Oh no,
we shouldn't be in this situation. So I think that, like, right now, God's will is telling us, like, okay, I want you to be a vessel for your people. I want you to be able to aid this person and to accomplishing this goal. So she's going to be able to finance this part of a political revolution, or whatever it could be. It could be something even smaller than that, but I'm always thinking on a whole different astronomical level.
What is this TikTok that said you gotta think big, bitch?
So this one is the past.
Okay.
So this is all something that's dwelling on the past. But this daily card, unfortunately, is one of those things like learning from your mistakes. It can't get worse than this. Like, this is like one of the cards where it's like, dang, like everything is fucked up.
Okay.
And it could be better. And things will be better because there's nowhere but up from here.
Yeah.
That's one of them cards. Like, it's only up from here. What you gonna do? Learn from your mistakes. Keep it moving. Don't wallow in your own shit.
Yes.
This one is more so like, yes, sad. It's been sad. It's been, a lot of, fighting as far as wanting to be the bigger person or actually being able to take advantage of certain situations.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's gonna be worth it. That's what that card says. And then we already went to where the progress goes, because now is now, and this is later.
Yay!
Yay! Right?
Exactly.
Right. So we still popping regardless, because like I said, constant is everything is constant. We are currently evolving, and everything is going to be okay. So I just wanted to show you a little bit more cards. It has a little design for where I was at. This is something that it kind of strikes people as a coat of arms. And it's something that I made up. It's nothing that's set in stone, but as a people, I just feel like we in the United States are underrepresented as a class of people. Like, we're not actually black as far as what kind of nation is that? There's no black nation. So we need to be more political in our stance of who we are. So this is a coat of arms for us that I created. Okay. I'm pretty sure that others created a flag. Even our ancestors. A lot of people don't know that a lot of them fought for independence. So the independence was like real independence. Like, we want this land. We want to be recognized as these people. So we didn't have to do so much of the integration on the level that we integrated in. We would have been able to establish, I guess, the Black Wall Street type of vibe. That would have been on a whole astronomical level versus just.
So why do you think it's so hard for us to get that back?
Well, we're majorly integrated in a system where we would have to have a lot more control politically. We would have to have a lot more self-sufficiency. So let's say we had a majority of us manufacturing. That gives us our power.
That's true.
In the banking systems, grocery stores, stuff like that. We would have to be self-sufficient and be in a position of producing to supply for us all.
It's kind of hard to do that now in this inflation, though.
Well, the problem stems from the root, and the foundation has to be led in politics. And when you're basically in a political position, not only is your local community good, all the way up to the governorship, you can run the state and get the agendas in place and the initiatives out and the things that you need to cover your political party and your agenda. So like we know, most people are Republican or Democratic, which that's not really working for us because their agendas are totally different from our agendas. We have more agendas like we don't need so much abortion. We don't need so many police killings. We don't need, so our agenda should be on one accord. And that's why we're spread thin, is because we have our people over here on the Republican side. We have our people over here. And a little of them have a little bit of our agendas, but we haven't had a party system that just focus on what we need and to get our voice heard, especially in Congress. So I ran for Congress, And I have a political party that I'm with. It's called MahaliParty.org. And basically, it's one of those parties where we have all of our agendas up online, and it basically just goes after the roots of our issues.
Yeah.
And then it also strategically put us in a place for people that want independence, and everybody doesn't want it. You know, there's just people that just are really comfortable and cool with this, how we are now, which is cool. But, like I said, our ancestors, you know, they was rocking with pro-independence all the way. And there's a lot of, that's how we got out of slavery. Like, the whole little Juneteenth and everything, people actually went ham. They orchestrated a way where they was going to kill all the masses, you know, and be in a position where, okay, we it's do or die. We don't care, and they gonna have to let us up out of this, and that's what happened. And you know, Denmark Vesey, and there's so many different people that we really gotta study besides the the Harriet Tubmans and the people that was doing stuff like that. There's more to the story, and those are the pro independent people that are people haven't really got to see in their own light. But so I wanted to show you the cards too, because there is a certain way that I did these cards. So of course I'll talk about God a lot, because a lot of people are scared of tarot and spirituality and not just being recognized as a Christian. Like there's I think
this is real common misconception that it's separate. Like you can't believe in God and do tarot.
Oh no. Yeah, that's a very bad misconception, because at the end of the day, like any religion, there's so many different aspects of, like I talked to you about earlier, about the manifestations of God and what it is. So there's historical records, and I think a lot of that is just being in tune with your legacy. So a lot of people kept account of how they manifested the origins and the things that God could be possibly God, when you see the sun and moon comes up every day. So it's that these are no-brainer things that we basically have a history of knowing. So when it comes to the events that occurred and, things like that, that's part of the historical movement as far as the Bible being written, the Talmud and the Quran, all these people that paid major homage and made major movements, kings and queens, we see it. So it's able to be documented, and we are able to see how people wanted to basically make sure other people had the same knowledge that they had, so they would share and they will try to bring them to God. So this is the same thing we're doing. Same thing. And then when it comes to the cards, I have them made in the likeness of our image. So
dedication to our ancestors.
That part, and that's exactly what it is. We have real kings around this mug. You feel me? And the thing is that we need to be associated with kingdoms and queendom empires more often, because that is our history. A lot of us don't know how our history plays a major part before slavery.
Yes.
So this is...
I was just saying, I had took my cousins yesterday. We went to go see The Woman King.
Oh,
very empowering movie.
Nice.
Very. It's so much you really don't know in history. And then there was this big discussion about historians saying how it wasn't a good depiction of it, about how they weren't a part of the slave trade.
Okay.
But it wasn't that they were a part of it. They the king before them was a part of it to keep his people and his riches and his wealth intact. Okay. But then his brother came into power and he wanted to end it all. But as you know, when people are used to something, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So basically, that was the struggle between them. But overall, it was a very empowering movie. I loved it.
Wow, okay. Well, shoot, I've definitely got to get around it. I was busy this week, but I definitely would have to get around to seeing it, because I've seen so many great reviews, and it was a hit at the box office. We did that. We came out for that. So yeah, so these cards are definitely a tribute. And when it comes to the melanated brothers and sisters that's on this card, they were also
with the locks.
right, and they were also recognized to be Moors.
Okay, what's a Moor?
So Moors are essentially the same aspect of what we are called as Black people. Okay. So pretty much when you look at somebody melanated from back in the 1400s, they were recognized as Moorish people. Okay. And it's just more so it's not within the color code caste system, but it definitely is a distinction of the hue of the person. Yes. So whatever. So initially we were Indians, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just all these things about history and just understanding it, you just put it in its proper perspective. But we're here now, right? And we need to change the
current dynamic of life
and the current color code cast on us. Yes. As being as a Black person, that's not really something that we can really pass down to as far as legacy. Like legacy, when it comes to any other nationality, you have your Japanese, your Chinese, you know what I mean, your Africans, but we in the United States need to politically figure out how we need to be represented on paper, as well as in our communities, because...
Would you say that's difficult to do because we are very opinionated race?
Yeah, we are. We are, and everybody's not going to want to do it. No. You know, and some people they don't even recognize as Black, but they want to be recognized maybe as African American. Mm-hmm. But that still is a little bit, if you know your history, everybody ain't African. It's not accurate. Because the accuracy of slavery ain't even accurate. No. Everybody that come over here on no damn boat, we was already here. We were already recognized as Indians as well. So there's so much that we have to get together politically and be self-sufficient so we can run our own studies and represent it as who we are and say who we are. We can't let somebody tell you who you are and they done shackled us up all this time. Like, nah. In different aspects, mind, body, and soul. Because a lot of people just are not even letting God be the forefront of their life. Right. So the understanding of even like why this is important, the intersection of consciousness and being directly connected to that intellectual genius and the spiritual genius of yourself is what God wants from us the most. Right. So we can definitely have a willful, powerful life. Exactly. Like I said, once you do the will of the Creator, guess what? All your desires will also manifest under that same umbrella, because who else you gonna get it from? God is in the business of blessing. Exactly, like who? Nobody. Right. That doesn't exist. So it's dope that we even got on this, because I know for a fact that it's far and few people you can pretty much confide in when you're doing something so sensitively, empowering.
It's such a harsh viewpoint on it, so it's hard to talk about something and expect people to be receiving of it,
Yeah, and I love that you're at this age where you're like, okay, I'm ready to just know all I can know, because this is what it is. This is like opening up the horizons just to be on purpose. And that's why I started that conversation. Like, do you know your purpose?